Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be unboxing Unmatched Battle of Legends Volume 2. This one's got some really cool characters in, like Bloody Mary and Achilles, Sun Wukong and Yanega. All really interesting. I'm especially interested to see Bloody Mary and how she plays. So let's get this one onto the table and open it up and have some discussion. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to push to 200 and maybe 250 by the end of the year. And I'd be really appreciated if you could do that. And leave any likes or comments if you want to ask me any questions, or if you want to see any more. I do go through the characters a little bit, but obviously I'm being quite quick. So if you want any more specific questions or rules questions, leave a comment in the comment section and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks for watching. So I'm really excited to get this one open, especially for me to see some of these really cool legends. I really like Greek mythology, so Achilles would be cool. Bloody Mary, it's one I'm particularly interested in. I really like a bit of horror and dark stuff. And then Sun Wukong and Yanega are quite cool characters that come from different cultures, and I've actually got a lot of interesting backstories to them. I don't know a lot about them, to be honest, but after obviously getting this, I was looked them up on in the internet, and they're actually really interesting, quite funky, especially the monkey. Nothing like a good funky monkey. And they always put out great sets with Restoration Games. They come up with new mechanics and new things, new actions, new tokens. So it'd be really cool to see what they've got in this one, especially for me, for the Bloody Mary. See what kind of like deathly theme things she's got going on, and what kind of horrible attacks and things she's got in her card, any traps or like demonic things she can do. So hopefully it's really cool. So let's have a look. We've got the basic rules. You've got kind of at the start, tells you who the characters are on the front there. Bloody Mary, stand before the mirror, speak her name 3 times and she'll be right behind you. Achilles, Sun Wukong, Yanega, bit of backstory is always nice. Then the system, how the heroes and sidekicks work, how to play, and scheming and attacks and all that stuff. And then once you've got through that, there's normally a page for some of the special rules. So high ground is new in this, it looks like. Some game boards have got high ground, which give you a +1 on attack if you're on the high ground. So that sounds really cool. That's a nice new little feature. And then also there's some special rules here for Sun Wukong's clones and Yanega the archer stuff. So this will be slightly different for everyone, but then I guess then the other characters are quite simple. Nothing there about Bloody Mary, sadly, so hopefully she's got some cool stuff in her deck. Then we've got our health dials and no other extra tokens, so there's nothing much extra, but you can see where the high ground is on these battles on the battle map. You can see where it's saying pointing that way. If you're on this thing attacking that way, you're getting 1 extra on your attack. Again, here you're on a step up from there, you're attacking down there. The stairs going down this way, there's stairs coming around here, down and along here. This is a high ground here, down that way and that way. It's a really cool, interesting strategy going to go on there with how you're going to fight on the high ground and the low ground. Nothing mad, but extra 1 damage is always good. And then the same, but on the alternate art on the other side, just so you see the whole map a little bit clearer. And this might be the better side to play on for the high ground, because it's easier to see where the stairs are and you're not getting blocked out with all the colours. But either way, the arrows there are really clear. It's a really nice set and looks really interesting. Before we even start opening the characters up, this one's already kind of leaping out the box a bit already. That's Sun Wukong, I think, the monkey, and he's on a big stick. He's kind of prankster, a bit of a trickster. You've got Bloody Mary here with a really cool kind of spirit thing coming out of a mirror, and on the back there's also a head coming out the other side. It's kind of like being trapped in a broken mirror. Really cool, really awesome miniature, so I'm hoping she plays really well as well. Then you've got the archer here of Yanega, who's got archers with her. And then you've got some miniature here for Achilles, who also is one of the coolest and best warriors we've had in the history. Especially in Greek mythology, is meant to be like the soldier of all soldiers, the best spearman, the best fighter. And then these archers, as you can see on them, they've got a little 2 dial, so they're showing you've got 2 health. So you just most probably flip them over when you're hit. 2 health that side, 1 health that side. So these 2 of those, you've got 2 archers with Yanega. So let's open up a card and see what they're like. Try and get through these fairly quickly if I can. There's quite a few characters in this box. Oh, the cards won't open. So immediately on the Yanega card, it tells you the power is if Yanega would take damage, you may assign any amount of that damage to 1 or more archers in her zone instead. You cannot assign more damage to an archer than their remaining health, of course. And then you've got some cards. Yanega, 3 of these. Stallion charge. Move Yanega up to 5 spaces. You can move through opposing fighters and you deal 1 damage to each opposing fighter she's moved through. Great for killing off 1 damage enemies like these ones of Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong. Yanega's got 3 of these Jaws of the Beast cards. For each zone the opposing fighter is in, increase the value of this card by 1 during combat. Yanega's got 2 shield formation cards. Your opponent may discard a card if they don't return a defeated archer to a space in Yanega's zone. So you get your archer back. 3 cards at point blank. If the opposing fighter is adjacent to Yanega, deal them 2 damage after combat. You've got 2 schemes of gaining 2 actions. That sounds really good. Getting 2 extra actions is always nice. You've got 2 cards which say move each of your fighters up to 2 spaces. Each of your fighters recovers a health and draws a card. Draw 1 card. For Yanega, you've got 3 cards of after combat. You do a volley. And volley is worth 3 attack. Not really sure how that works, whether you can still defend against both or if you just do one or the other. Looks like it's going to be a double attack, so maybe you can double defend. But obviously you're going to use up your defense cards then doing that, which can be annoying. Divide and conquer 2 of these. If your fighter is not in Yanega's zone, the value of this is 4 instead. Obviously the archers are going to have ranged, and so is Yanega. Archers have got pin the prey. Move the opposing fighter up to 4 spaces. Your opponent discards 1 card. Then anyone can use the surprise volley, 3 attack. You may return a defeated archer to a space in the opposing fighter's zone. If you do, the archer is now the attacker. If you don't, gain 1 action, so that's immediate. That's really nice. And then you've got 3. If your fighter started in a different space, you get 5 instead of 3. And then 2 of these. If you won the combat, choose one of the fighters in the combat and move them up to 2 spaces. That's 4, so it's quite strong. So she's got some really cool stuff, and obviously range is really good in this game. So she's going to be quite powerful already from what I've seen. So hopefully some of the other characters are also really cool and powerful. I'm going to go for the cards for Achilles next. And then see what he's looking like, because he seems interesting. Open a thing. And he's got really nice artwork, as always, on these cards. The artwork's always great. It's just really funky back to those. Achilles, it says when Patroclus is defeated, discard 2 random cards. While Patroclus is defeated, you add +2 to the value of all of Achilles' attacks. And if he wins combat, you get to draw a card. Only Achilles, though, not Patroclus. You get 3 cards called Achilles' Heel. If you lost the combat, your opponent gains an action. But it's 4 defense, so you're not likely to lose to a lot. You got 2 spear throws, deal 2 damage to an opposing fighter in Achilles' zone. Key to remember, he's melee and melee for both of his characters. You got 1 attack, a test for weakness. After combat, you're doing a relentless assault. So this is a card to draw out someone's good defense. You do a 1 attack first, and then you get to do a relentless assault, I guess, which is 3, a 3 attack, which is stronger. You've got 3 cards for under Achilles' helm. Immediately, if Patroclus is not defeated, Achilles may swap spaces with him. If he does, Patroclus is now the defender. So when you're swapping, you're not taking damage on your main character. But you might want to keep Patroclus in because he could be strong. And if he goes out, you have to discard 2 cards at random. Attack for 3, deal 2 damage after combat to both fighters in the combat. Patroclus has got another 3 attack. You may deal 2 damage to Patroclus if you do. The value of this card is 5. So he's most probably going to die in every battle, but he'll do a lot of stuff before he does. Brothers in Arms, attack for 4 for anyone. If Patroclus is not defeated, gain an action. That's really nice. Any after combat move each of your fighters up to 3 spaces. They may move through opposing fighters. You got 2 cards that are 2 value for defend or attack. Choose a card in your discard pile and return it to your hand. So good for getting some cards back. Any deal 1 damage to each opposing fighter adjacent to your fighter. Can be useful. Skirmish. After if you won the fight, choose one of the fighters in the combat and move them 2 spaces. And then cancel all of the effects of the other card. A fairly common one that we're seeing quite a lot of. Now, the back of these cards, they might not show up great on camera, but there's a very faint picture there of Bloody Mary on the back, which is quite nicely done. A little bit of a spooky effect. It's nice to see. Really, the effort they put into all of the different cards and the characters, they're really nice and all really stand out. There's no one character card who isn't well drawn or well made. So, looking forward to seeing what she's got in here. She must be the one I'll try out first. Bloody Mary is a melee. She doesn't have anyone with her. You've got 16 health. There's at the start of your turn, if you have exactly 3 cards in hand, you gain 1 action. So you're aiming to keep 3 cards in your hand so you can have 3 actions every turn. That could be attacks, defense, anything. To start with, you've got a 3 attack there, and then Bloody Requiem. It says after combat, you do Bloody Reprise, which is another attack. It says during combat, if your opponent played a card against Bloody Requiem, this attack's value is that card's printed value. So you're going to get them to waste kind of cards. Speak 3 times. There's 2 of those. The 3 attack. If this is your 3rd action this turn, the value of this card is 7. So if you're getting your 3 cards and you're getting that out last, you're getting 7 attack, which is pretty strong in this game. During the combat, you may boost this attack. After combat, if this is your 3rd action this turn, recover 3 health. She's got Broken Glass, 3 of those, which is a 3 defense or attack. During combat, you can increase or decrease the value of this card by 1, depending on what you want to do. After combat, if the value of this card matches your opponent's card, draw 1 card and the opposing fighter takes 2 damage. So if you're 1 off, you can increase the value or decrease the value of it. So you can make it so it's basically a 3, a 2 or a 4. If they play a 3, 2 or 4, they're going to take 2 damage, which is nice. Guaranteed bit of damage. Mirror Image. 2 of these, 0 defense, but it says during combat the value of this card is equal to the printed value of your opponent's card. So you're not going to get hit for that. Stolen Memories is a scheme. Look at the opponent's hand and choose a card. Your opponent may discard it. If they don't, the hero takes damage equal to its boost value. So normally good cards have got good boost values on them as well. So they may not want to do that, but a bit awkward. Defend or attack for 2. And it says after combat you can place Bloody Mary in an empty space adjacent to the opposite fighter. You've got 3 of these cards. Evade. The cards are quite gruesome. 3 defense and draw a card after combat. Then you've got 4 for defense or attack, and it says after combat choose one of the fighters in the combat and move them 4 spaces. You have 2 cards that are faint, cancel all effects of the other person's card. They're common, yeah. Jump Scare. During battle, if Bloody Mary shares no zones with the space that she started in this turn, this card is worth 6. So if you've moved into a new zone, you're going to get 6 on that for defense or attack. Closer than she appears. Scheme. Move Bloody Mary up to 1 space, draw a card, gain an action. And then last one is Out of the Mirror. During combat, it's only 1 attack, but during combat it says your opponent discards 1 random card and you add its boost value to this card's value. After combat, if this is your 3rd action, you get to draw a card. So she's all about getting 3 cards in hand or doing 3 actions, doing things in 3s, you know, like saying Bloody Mary 3 times. Really thematic. I'm actually really excited to try her out. She looks really, really cool. I think she looks like one of the coolest so far, and the imagination that's gone into making her and the ideas and the way she's designed looks fantastic. I'm absolutely ecstatic to try her out. And then the last one is Sun Wukong, the monkey guy. He's melee and so are his clones, and he's got 3 of them. It says at the start of your turn you may take 1 damage to summon a clone in an empty space adjacent to Sun Wukong. Do not start with any clones on the board, so you have to take damage and get the clones out. Then 4 defense. During combat, any combat damage you would take is dealt to the opposing fighter instead. Great, that's 4 defense, which is nice as well, so I'm not going to get beaten. An attack of 2 for anyone. For each other friendly fighter adjacent to the opposing fighter, you increase the value of this by 1. So if you can get a few people around him, you can get it up to like 5 or 6. I'm not sure if you can get, you can get 4 around some spaces, so you could get a lot of damage, especially with the extra height advantage on the different ground. So you got height elevation, haven't you? He's got a phoenix form as one of these. So Sun Wukong recovers 1 health for each clone on the board. So once you've got them out, if you can use this straight away, you're going to get your 3 health back that you've paid to get them out. Bewilderment, you get 2 of these, 0 defense, but it says during combat prevent all combat damage. After combat, you can place your fighter in any space, so you can run away or attack or get better spaces. You get 2 5 defense. So during your combat, your opponent may boost their attack. So a bit risky, but potentially good. A 7 attack called Ox Form. This card's effect cannot be cancelled. During combat, if your opponent played a card, they may boost it. So you're doing 7 attack, but they could boost their defense. So it's highly unlikely they'll block it all, but they could block quite a bit of it with a boost. 72 transformations. This says after combat, take an Ox Form, Tortoise Form, and Phoenix Form from your discard pile and return it to your hand. So they're cards that you might want to have back in hand. You get 3 Taunting Laughters, which is 3 attack for anyone. Immediately your opponent may discard 1 card from their hand. If they don't, ignore their card's value. So they need to discard a card to be able to block. You've got Rui Jingo Bang, which is really hard to say. You get 3 of these. It says after combat, if your opponent played a defense card, something tricked you, so you do an attack for 4 after this. So it's like drawing out their defense to do an attack after. If they didn't play a defense card, then you're okay. But if they do, then you're gonna attack them again for 4. 2 schemes, Fiery Eyes That See. Look at an opponent's hand and choose a card. Put that card on the bottom of their deck. You each draw 1 card, so they don't lose a card technically, but they won't have it until the end of their deck, which is uncommon. Oh, there's 4 of these. There's not normally 4 of any type of card. Sly Monkey, it says if Sun Wukong played this card, summon a clone in Sun Wukong's space. Then place Sun Wukong in a space in his zone. So you can get your clones out without having to take a damage. So that might be useful, very useful. And then last 3, Wily Fighting. Deal 1 damage to each opposing fighter adjacent to your fighter. So he's got a really funky style. Actually, he also looks really awesome. So I'm excited to try all of these characters. They all look fantastic, especially to me, Bloody Mary. Seems like she's got some really strong stuff, and that's why she's got no supporters or helpers. And she can do a lot of stuff, and she seems really fun to play from what I've seen. So I'm hoping to get her to the table soon and try her out. Let me know who's your favourite from this set. How's it best to play them? Obviously, Bloody Mary, the 3 cards and 3 actions is quite obvious. But Sun Wukong and Yanega and Achilles all look a bit complicated. Maybe need a bit more play. So any advice is welcome. Thanks for watching this one, guys. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Any likes or subscribes are greatly appreciated. We're trying to push for 200 subs. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one.